Well, it's the, I don't know what day it is. It's the morning anyway. It's 8:15 in the youth hostel at Crianlarich. Just checking the map where I came yesterday. This was from Inversnaid down here, Benglass Farm, all the way up here and up there, then back down through the woods to Crianlarich. The bridge was down, I think it might have been there, Alta Hulin. The bridge over the burn was down. That's where the fella stopped me and asked me, can I get through it, or do I have to take the not a shortcut, but the alternative diversion, which is signposted, which goes away up the hill and back down. And I said, no, you can easily get over the river. Because it was so low. If it was in Spate, you'd have trouble, you'd have to go up the hill, take the diversion. The section along here from Derrydara, Kinmile and up the Mould Military Road, up to the Crianlarich crossroads, that's where you want to wear long sleeves if you've got them. Because that is full of clegs and midges and all sorts of beasts and sheep and everything. As I said, in wet weather, that section, the old military road track, is very muddy and boggy and in parts, but it was okay yesterday. So now, where are we? Today it's Crianlarich, up to the woods again, here. Past St Fillan's, to Tyndrum, and I'm staying about Tyndrum Lower somewhere, I believe, in something called a posh pod. Okay, so it's only about 6 or 7 miles. It's an easy day. This is a rest day before the big one tomorrow. It's 8:25, I'm just leaving Crianlarich. Can't be bothered hanging around for very long. The youth hostel didn't have breakfast. I think the COVID thing has shut their kitchen, so I could have went to the wee shop and get something, but I'll just make do with the cereal bars in my bag. And what a difference a day makes. This was all clear yesterday. There's actually a wee spit in the air, but it's much cooler, which is very welcome. My legs are tired, so it's quite good. I'm getting a wee rest day here. Aye, that wee hostel in Crianlarich was good. Good sleep, good enough bed. Bit small, that's the only thing. Couldn't stretch fully out in it. I don't know if you're a bit lanky like me, doesn't really suit. It is a youth hostel after all, I would expect weird people. Right, go up here, back on the way. I should say that normally people who've stayed over in Crianlarich would go all the way to Inversnaid or the Bridge of Orchy, rather than just Tyndrum, which is a very short section. I would have done that, but I couldn't get anywhere to stay. The Bridge of Orchy hotel was just extortionate. So that's why I ended up staying in Tyndrum. Guy living in the underpass there. All those bags. He had bags of plastic bottles and stuff like that. I think he's kind of mentally ill. I tried to talk to him. He's foreign and things written in his hands, like directions or answers to tell people if they asked him things. So, they said he was going somewhere tomorrow or something. Nobody all that stuff, he's not. Fairly in distress. So I gave him a couple of quid and that was him, but he's talking to himself down there. A bit like I am just now, right enough. So this is a hill out of Crianlarich. Last night in the pub, one of the women who runs the place was telling these two young lassies, oh, you don't need to do this, away up that hill, and it takes ages, and you go up and down to Tyndrum. So what she was recommending was that they just take the road, and it's much quicker, and you'll get you there much quicker, and it's no cheating. She was saying it's no cheating. Now, one of the lassies was all for it. I think they were both a bit burst, because they'd come from Ardlui, they were telling me, crossing the wee ferry. They'd stayed over at Ardlui and then come crossing the wee ferry to Ardleash, up through Inversnaid, the Benglass campsite. So that was a hard wee trek, just that wee section. And then they'd come up the way I had, up to Crianlarich. Now, if I'd been them, it was their first time doing it, right enough, but they should probably just have turned at the crossroads and pressed on to Tyndrum, but they come down to Crianlarich thinking, oh, we'll just nip into the town for something to eat. But they didn't realise it's down this big hill and then back up the big hill afterwards. So I think this was about, it must have been half four. I think I was talking to them and I said to them, well, maybe you should take this woman's advice, because it's a heavy 7 miles to Tyndrum at that time of day, especially if you've been walking all day. And the heat as well, it was sweltering yesterday. So I don't know what they did, I hope they made it alright. One of them was off for staying in Crianlarich, I think. She was done. But our pal was determined to do it the right way. So one of them would have went the road way, and the other one, who was going to win out, I'm sure, was determined to do it the right way. So I'm sure they got there okay. And then, like me, they've got a big walk the next day, which is today for them. So they stayed in Tyndrum tonight, and tomorrow they're going all the way to King's House. One lassie was into it, one wasn't. Right, they're building a new road here. Cross over straight through. And on up through the woods. And there's the track there. Up to the Crianlarich crossroads again. And the pines again. Just stop to see if I can see any red squirrels, but yeah, they're very shy. They are here though, pretty sure. You can see the pine cones are kind of gnawed away. Like that. Back at the Crianlarich crossroads. Came up this way yesterday and now up the hill here into the forest again. It should be a nice section of walk. Just past two guys going to wade into Crianlarich. I said it's good, it's a bit cool of the day. I wonder where they've come from. See. Just thinking that pub last night where I found a bit of chicken in my veggie curry. You know, even when I went to pay afterwards and they charged me for it, I didn't say anything. I just booked my card and she said, do you want a receipt? And I said, aye. And she says, she printed it off, gave it to me and said, right. And that was it. I never got a sorry or a thank you or anything from her. And she seemed like a nice enough woman before that, so I don't know. It doesn't speak well for that pub anyway. Maybe they thought I'd put a bit of chicken in there to try and get it for free. As if I carry bits of chicken around in my pocket. It was obviously cooked in, so they must have known. I just wonder if their veggie curry is just the same as the chicken curry, except they strain it first and poke out all the bits of chicken. I've no evidence for that, but their attitude makes me wonder. Well, if it's like this all the way, it's okay. A wee bit muggy. But it was just sweltering the last couple of days. Oh, I should stop moaning. Stop moaning. It's a good time just about walking about in the country. No more moans. Just stopping to see if, waiting around, I can see a squirrel. The thing is, when you stop, all the midges come and start pecking at you. I just realised though, when I'm standing here looking for one, I realise why they're red. Because they're no deep red, they're the colour of the pine needles. Like that, so when they're on the ground, they're camouflaged. That'll be why they're red, I would think. It would kind of make sense. Come on. As if a noise like that would make them come. Well. I was just taking my time, going as slow as I possibly can, just walking wee steps, just as slow as I could, to see if I could see a squirrel. Aye, I just stopped for a wee while and see if I could see one. I decided I'll try the tip that I saw online to use pine needles. You rub pine needles on and the scent drives the midges away. So I got some pine needles and I crushed them between my hands and rubbed them on, and immediately was engulfed by a swarm of midges. So I don't think that works. I've just about gave up on these red squirrels. No long to go to them out the forest, I think, but it's actually mostly larch and spruce trees that's in the forest, not so much the pine now. There's a few pines down there I can see. No Scots pines, just some kind of European pine, I think. These squirrels are lazy buggers. They don't get up early in the morning, obviously. But what I did was, when the midges attacked me, it wasn't a pine tree I reached out. I just reached out and grabbed in the nearest tree and some needles from it and rubbed them on. And it wasn't until after I then realised that that's a larch tree. So there's the tip. The pro tip: midges like larch, the smell of larch tree needles, but I'm not sure about the pine. I should try that and see if it works. Well, it does seem a bit odd that midges wouldn't like the smell of pine when there's thousands of them in a pine forest. Well. Over there now, in the distance. There he goes. At least I saw one. Don't know if you can see it in camera, but that is definitely a red squirrel. Saw it clear as day. Oh. Okay, tick that off the list. Next thing's a pine marten. Say wherever you are, maybe you can't see a pine marten, but you can guarantee they can see you. Ah, good. Saw a red squirrel in the wild. Oh, I remember seeing sheep herding here. It was quite the thing to see. 3 years ago, a dog was just guiding the whole flock of sheep. You'd think it was impossible what they can do. They guide a whole flock through a narrow wee entrance into a pen, a field. It's great to see. tells you here in the Kirkton burial ground notice about the miraculous forearm, and perhaps hand, I think, of St Philin, a miraculous luminous arm. A strange type of thing, power for a saint to have. A luminous arm. I wonder what you could do with a luminous arm. I'm the black sheep o' the family, I'm our dearie Johnny Raw. Every time I play the blames me, I'm the pits a blaming me and all. I'm the black sheep o' the family. Farm there in St Philins, that's kind of halfway between Crianlarich and Tyndrum. And the sun's come out. It's getting warm again. That's not bad, that's 10:30ish. So, there's the way ahead. All good, all good. Just coming up now to the St Philins wigwams, the wooden wigwams, the campsite. This is a good place to stop. I suppose if you weren't going all the way to Tyndrum, you could have just missed Crianlarich and stopped here, which maybe is something I should have done. And then went from here to, oh, I don't know where, because Bridge of Orchies and around the orange places, and there wasn't anywhere. I think I've done as good as I can in terms of itinerary planning. Well, maybe not so much the planning, but the itinerary at least. Seems to be Wi-Fi points on these wigwam holidays. Golden gems. Quite a nice wee place to stay, I think. There'll be some smells of the farm at times. What does it say over here? Blah 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 blah. There's a signpost up that way, but that's not the West Highland Way. What is that? The All Abilities Path to Waterfall, Woodland Walk, Sheep Trail. I'll miss that out today. I could, but going West Highland Way, this way. And just after you leave the wigwams, and Ben Louis comes into view. There's a wee spiky top there. Get a better view from just down here. Up there, spiky. It's clear as well, good. West Highland Way's down there. 1.5 miles, 2.6 kilometres to Tyndrum, so hardly anything, just about there. And there's an artisan cafe, 3 minutes walk. Well, I think I've been sold a pup here. Walked away this hillside track to find the artisan cafe, whatever an artisan cafe is. And that's got a good 5 or 6 minutes, I think. 3 minutes walk. And if you're Usain Bolt, it doesn't look as if it's going anywhere. Where an artisan cafe could be. I'm heading back. My way back down the hillside. And I see the road goes round there. So maybe the artisan cafe is round there. 3 minutes away in the opposite direction. Could be. It's not very clear. I'm needing another sign if that's the case. I'm not taking the risk. I've had enough. I don't know what an artisan cafe is, and I don't care now. I'm just going on to Tyndrum. Well, just come up from there. That's me at Tyndrum. Just walked the last mile and a half with a lovely lady called Carol, who's heading on to Bridge of Orchy. And she said she's staying at this Orchy pods or Orchy lodges or something like that down there, which I didn't know about, or else I would have booked that. So she's booked in there, which means I've got a big long walk tomorrow. Ah well, can't be helped here. I'm at Tyndrum, so get something to eat here. Check-in's at 2, and it's now only 11:45. So a couple of hours to spare. Just relax, something to eat, and I'll need to buy some clothes. I need to buy some pants. I don't have enough. And shorts for £4.9, and then wear a long sleeve t-shirt. It's sweltering again, so nice wee rest today. This is the By the Way campsite, lodges. It is very nice. Showers and toilets there. People camping. These wee pods. Mine is the posh pod down there with the steps. Good wee place. You can't check in till 2 o'clock. It's closed between 10 and 2 in the reception. But apart from that, what a cute place. Lovely. It really is. So in here, there should be a kettle and a microwave and a way to get water around there from the tap. I could actually buy some food and just cook it in here instead of going out for tea. So think about that. There's the drinking water there. Very well done. Very well thought out, well maintained. So, that's the toilets and shower codes. Here's my key. There we are. Just go in. Let's fly in. Here we are. This is a posh pod. Oh, a wee TV, kettle, microwave, fridge. Wow. A heater in case it's cold. Somebody's left some old pasta and stuff there. Noodles. Everything you could want in the one wee place. Great. Good, very good. Oh, just realised my posh pod doesn't have any bedding. These kind of rubbery sheets they've got in the cots. No sheets or blankets or pillows. Didn't know that when I booked it, but I suppose just have to put up with that. It's only for a night, so it should be okay.